5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. It's the Romello Marcellus Show. The fly uncle you always wish you had.
Bring them out.
Here to give you every aspect of game from a real player's perspective. It's the biggest boss from business, entertainment, love, and life.
Had to find my inner power.
To fashion, etiquette, and current events.
Major show alert.
All to enhance the happiness already inside you.
Today is about the power of you.
Check it out.
You're now rocking with the best.
Welcome to the Romello Marcellus Show. I am he and he's me. Once again, if you're just joining the show this evening, we got a touchy topic, man, and I kind of need some help on this one. You got to know when you don't have all of the answers, and you seek that help. And you ask for professional help. Those that are around you. A lot of times, man, we don't understand. The most stupid question is the one that we don't ask, right? As we get into this thing, the conversation is about perfect place and time for everything and everyone. A few shows back, I covered different positions, whether men or women are at fault for a lot of the situations that we're in this day, and that means in the status or the stations that we play or the traps that we have fallen into or have chose to allow ourselves to be willing participants in the way we live our lives, raise our children, make money and make provision for ourselves, also be examples for those in the community. And in this day and age, the way we're viewed as Black people or people of color, and to the world it's sometimes it's sad because they don't know us, but the narratives that have been painted and the corner that have been painted to put us in have done us a great disservice, as well as our enjoyment of all things life, from the dance to the way we talk, the way we dress, the way we wear our hair, and the home. It has really been the point of destruction for us because it is a constant seeking to destroy us as a Black family or a Black people or a culture or a civilization, that is. The easiest way to do that is to keep the man against the woman. I was always taught that when women talk, you don't get into their conversations because it's theirs. And it's true that we as men have our own understanding and you as women have your own understanding to what the things that we discuss. And I need some help on this one. What I'm going to do, I want to share something with you guys. And it bothered me today to see it.
Can somebody explain to me exactly what Black women did to make damn near every race, even a lot of our own Black men, hate us?
Sure can. Took advantage of government assistance. Kicked us out of the house. Joined the feminist train and demonized your men. Allowed billions of dollars every year to exit our community on fake aesthetics of beauty. Praised and joined homosexual men while demonizing heterosexual men that assert themselves. Took our children away from us and used them as bargaining chips to further financially disenfranchise us. Use sex as a weapon in our intimate relationships to get what you want. Became the only women in the world to tell the world that they don't need their men. Perpetuated the trope that Black women are the backbone of Black communities, which directly implies that Black men have no spine and are useless. Continually pushing the narrative that Black women are the winners of the oppression Olympics while not having any metric of which they are treated worse than Black men. Allowed their weight to slip such that sexual attraction is diminished. Hot girl summer. engaged heavily in prostitution, legal sex work, OnlyFans, etc., and then demanded that your men protect and respect you. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I can make a part 2.
Now, for me, that it's saddening. It's yeah, it just does a lot for me. You know, with the understanding that there, and everyone has an opinion to the things that they see and the narratives that have been painted. That there's truth in everything, but then there's also exceptions to the rule in everything. We have to look at things in the way that we see them, each and every one of us. But those on the outside, they also have what's called a judgment in place to put us. When we walk into a place, 9 times out of 10, they've already sized us up, found us wanting and waiting. But this situation is about men and women, the black men and the black women, and this toed line of respect that was put in tethers or in tatters by someone who could possibly exist but may not have. Willie Lynch couldn't have said it any better. You put black man against black woman, young against old, light against dark. The differences is what keeps us in the dark. And it hurts our growth. It hurts our everything. I made a rant yesterday about brothers standing shoulder to shoulder. Here we go. We got a brother who's kind of pointing out some things that are touchy, but hey, we need to get into it. Before we get on, I'm gonna let a few other people get in the room. Welcome. We have Lena Ray in the room. We have Artist You in the room. We got Peeps Entertainment. We got the Real Rita. We got Keisha Loves just joined the room. Welcome, welcome. If you are here, once again, I thank you. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us on the Romello Marcellus Show. This evening, man, I have a few guests with me, and I need their perspective. All right. I have the goddess Itasha. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, the goddess
Itasha.
Yep.
And I also have Toyin Black, the vegan. Welcome to the show. Now, can you enlighten me? Yeah, can you starting with you, Queen
Itasha.
Could you play Itasha?
Yes.
Itasha, can you enlighten us?
Well, I want to get into, I did a live today, and that's what brought me here today, and for him to ask me to join. When I saw that video on Instagram, I was like, listen, what is this? So what I do, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is the goddess Itasha, and I do mental health for the military. I'm a yoga teacher for kids, firearms instructor in the DMV area. I do life coaching packages, Reiki master, sound healing, you name it. This perspective that I'm going to bring is something in which the black, I would say the colored community, I don't like to say black because none of us are black, we're brown. So I would say in the colored community, when I saw that video, I thought it was crazy because most people, I believe, are surface thinkers. So when I say surface thinkers, when you hear something like that, as far as like taking advantage of the system, me, myself, I've used the system for assistance. I'm a single mom with 2 children, and using the system for hello. Oh, okay, there you go. Using the system is not something that we were taught to just use to get up on our best foot. It was something that was actually presented to us so that we can use it and be depending on it and to dummy us down. That's what it was used for. So for him to make that statement, when the first thing that the white man did was take the black man out of the household, like this brother stated at first, they purposely did that because without the man in the household, the colored man in the household, with those type of situations, that put us in a situation where you're not protected. The mother and the children are not protected. And I feel like this. Instead of us going against each other, we need to just peel back the layers. There's layers to the onion. There's a reason why. There's a reason why our families in the colored community are depending on those type of things. And because we weren't taught those things, just like mental health. We weren't taught how to love one another. We weren't taught to learn the deep layers of each other. Because again, like I said on my live today on Facebook, I wrote down all these tips. I wrote down 10 things out of probably the 12 things that he said. And like I said, one of them was to take advantage of the government assistance. The first thing they did, like I said, was they took the man out of the house. As far as sex, using sex to get what we want, I had a brother. I sent it to 3 people, and I would say 3 of those men is what I will believe to be a conscience being. But I found out that they also are wearing some trauma on their sleeves, because when they stated that the woman uses their intuition to find out if a man is cheating, but they don't use their intuition to find out whether that's a good man or not, I find that to be very crazy that he made that statement, because none of us were taught to use our intuition. They purposely put fluoride in our water. I don't know if you know that, sister. What's your name? I'm sorry.
Toyan. And yes, I'm Toyan. Can you hear me?
Toyan? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Like,
yeah, I'm aware about the
all
things
that.
that are in our supplements and foods and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So pretty much that's what I was saying. Like, they purposely do things to blind our third eye, our ability to use our intuition. So to make surface comments and not peel back the layers, to me, is bogus. But again, we weren't taught to do those things. And like Jamello stated, you know, the fact that there needs to be some form of healing to this perspective. And first, people have to acknowledge where they are and understand that the surface thing is not going to get us where we need to be. He also stated that the Black woman state that they're the backbone, which indicates that the man is not a part of that sector, or he's weak. So the fact that he stated that the woman states that she's the backbone, as opposed to us learning to work together and learn each other, so that we can be the backbone for the entire, I would say, for our children, for the entire universe. We choose not to do that. Most of the time, the Black man and the Black woman makes excuses based on their perspective versus learning more. I also wrote that he stated some women take the child away from the father and they use that as some type of pawn. Now, I do get it. Some women are very vindictive, so I can't speak for all women, but some women are very vindictive. However, men also have to take accountability in the colored community with just having babies and not being there. You know, not taking that responsibility that it works both ways. And with 2 headstrong individuals, we can actually meet each other in the middle. It's not just about the Black woman or the colored woman. I hate saying Black woman. I have to keep that out of my vocabulary. He stated that women like to engage in fans only pages, but they want the respect from a man. Well, some women, may have been molested. You never know. As I stated, you have to peel back those layers to find out, why is this person like this? Why did this happen? And even in the worst situations, like, I'll give a scenario like the R. Kelly situation, which is what I made an example of earlier. He did what he did, but he also was raped by his sister. So rather than us judging the surface, sometimes we have to find that reasoning to understand where that person is. I'm one that actually looked up what happened to Hannibal Lecter, which is a real story with the eating people and stuff like that. He had a rough childhood. So it's so many different things that people go through that will say, ew, that's disgusting, but this person's sick. Well, how did they get there? It's always a reason. We have our past trauma. We have our past life trauma in our DNA. We have so many things that affect us. And I can't remember the sister's name, but she actually started a DNA healing from our past. So we have so many things that actually hurt us that we don't see, that we're blindsided by. And that was my main thing. Yes, he may have felt the way he felt. And yes, it may be relevant to those who think that way. But from my perspective, we have to learn to peel back those layers to understand why something is, so that we can get past it, rather than making excuses and broadcasting the perspective that doesn't help anyone. Does anyone have any questions for me about my perspective thus far?
No, I'm learning. I hope everybody else is. I'm taking it in.
All right, cool. So the joining the feminist group. He stated that women join the feminist group to demonize men. I don't believe, for those colored gods and kings of the universe that are listening to this podcast right now, I don't think not zero woman, actually, maybe 1 or 2, maybe a small percentage, join a feminist group because they wanted to maybe demonize a man. But I really think that the woman was trying to find herself, learn self-love.
But that's usually what happens in those groups.
But as far as them demonizing men,
of course. Look at Planned Parenthood. Look at all of these other little groups. Even the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I think that some people, they may do that. But we have had so many things taken away from us as women. Look at some of the higher positions in the universe. Rather than us learning how to be one with each other, like having a female president, and I do believe that women are emotional, but unless we're taught self-love, unless we're taught how to, let's say, the scientific facts of ourselves, because they purposely dumbed us down. They purposely put us in a position to make us be weaker or not have the position of leadership. And I do believe that some people, they do, like you said, I do feel like they may demonize the male, but I think it's more so, it shouldn't be done in a negative way. I think that what should happen is they should maybe pour more into learning the female and not dumbing down the man or demonizing the male. I think that there should be a perspective where we all come together and have a better understanding of each other, let's say, so that we wouldn't. So, I mean, at the end of the day, there's men groups like Masons. We can't join a Mason. We can be an Eastern Star, but we can't be a Mason. So you have stuff like that where men, they create their sector and we can't be a part of it. So I'm not sure what the other people do, but I don't really gravitate to groups per se. Like, I don't do the cult thing. I don't gravitate to groups. I'm an individual person. I've always been like that, the leader. I was like that in school. I was by myself and I kept it that way. A lot of people knew me, but I was never in a group. But yeah, do you have any questions about that perspective with the feminist thing?
No, I'm
Just
learning.
listening to the perspective. Okay.
This is the perspective. I mean, trust and believe me, I'm gonna get off into y'all's asses later. I'm taking it in. I'm taking it in.
Okay.
Toya, what is your position on this video?
I mean, on the deeper level, I don't disagree with anything that she said. On the surface level, of course, we can say that he had valid points all the way up and down if it's just surface, but nothing is ever just surface. One thing that I know that doesn't happen in our community is the fathers aren't there to teach the women how to interact with men or what a man even is supposed to be. So we have an idea of how we are supposed to maneuver those relationships.
Yep, you're right.
The government, when welfare first came around, it really wasn't even for us per se. But once they saw the way that it did break down the Black household, it's actually on tape where you can go find it. And they said this is around because we're actually separating more families than we thought. More women are taking things on that we actually thought would. And so it's still around to this day. And so one of the stipulations for even getting assistance is you can't get married when you're getting government assistance in that way. You can't have a man in the house. But even then, there were also accepted because they break down their household. And I think that's the difference between women and females. Not to say that anyone sit and struggle with their man in the house if he's not able to provide some type of living. But do we also say, and this is only speaking from back then, that okay, you leave, would I struggle with my man? I think unfortunately I'm probably not have, but we know that happened.
Well, we know in this day and age that shit ain't happening.
What's not happening? It broke up a little bit. I didn't hear you. What's not happening?
Basically, she said that. Okay, you want to repeat that?
What did you say? What were you saying was not going to happen? Because I didn't hear. It broke up a little bit.
Okay, can you repeat that? Let me see if she.
No, I was saying, what were you saying that she said was not going to happen from what
in today's day?
What's not going to happen?
The choice to struggle.
The choice to struggle?
Most times, most times that won't happen.
I have chosen the choice
Especially
to struggle.
in this day and age.
I've chosen the choice to struggle before dealing with any type of trauma or stress. That's just because I feel like we're different. Like she said, there's a difference between the woman and who would you say a female? What did you say?
Females. It's just like men and males. Men do certain things, males wouldn't do it. They're more like boys.
You're right. You're absolutely
a man isn't going to leave his household. A boy will step out. A man will go put himself on child support, as my sister always says, but a boy wouldn't do that.
You're right. You're right. He also stated allowing their weight to slip, which would diminish the sexual attraction. And like you stated, like I said earlier, that's some surface thinking bullcrap because most of us don't even know what a healthy meal is. And for what I can see on the video, not to throw shots at the brother, but he looked like he was a little overweight to be making any statements about somebody being big, which means he doesn't even have the medicine for healthy food to be making that type of statement. Which most men, like I said on my live, like thicker women. Even if it's slim thick, they seem to like that. But yeah, he made that comment. I just feel like it was a lot of surface comments being made that when I sent it to 3 conscious brothers, only one whom healed himself from his own trauma, who learned how to meditate, who discussed that. And he's like, when I say he's an attractive brother, but he chose just to find a better way to live and like healed his own trauma. He was adopted and some more stuff. So he was the only one that said, you know, you guys were blindsided. But as a surface thinker, they're not going to look at it like they're blind. We're being blindsided as a whole community, as a whole race, that we're all being blindsided and affected. And then it says something about he praised, and that was the last thing I wrote down, that we praise gay men, which dummy downs the straight male who tries to be assertive. I think that's me personally. I don't understand that statement, to be honest with you. I don't. I think that gay men are pretty funny. That's what I think. Not to say that we praise them. That doesn't even make sense. I mean, most gay men that I know are very successful. I don't know how or why, but I don't know about you, but that's what I noticed. They're very successful. They have those $2.5 million homes in DC and things of that nature. So they're go-getters, if you ask me, but I don't know about praising them while the man's trying to be assertive. I don't understand that.
Well, the way that I took that one, I don't even remember the man's name, but he wore a dress. I believe it was to an award show.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
And he was celebrated in a way, and that's the way that I took that statement. That gay people or gay black men are celebrated in a way that the average black male who is just proud of being a male just isn't. I actually agree with him on that one. Now, do we as women celebrate them? I think in some ways we do. Celebrate gay men.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're right. Y'all do celebrate gay men.
I celebrate assertive black men as well. I love an assertive black man. Mm-hmm. Now, if we're speaking for just women or black women as a group, like I understand that statement.
Yeah, I just think they don't go together. Like, why would you make that kind of statement when it's not the same battle in between? Because we have a problem with assertive men sometimes because they're not being assertive in a productive way. You follow what I'm saying?
Right. So when I said I'm not talking about abuse assertive.
Is that a singular analysis?
What?
When you say assertive, what definition are you talking about? Someone who's barking all the time, or someone who's taking the initiative to lead? There's a fine line when
a man's man. That's when I say a man who can assert himself to handle his business. I'm not talking about over masculine man who's trying to hide something or someone who is brutal in any type of way, just a man's man. That's the comparison that I drew from that. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with a man who handles his business. You have to be assertive. White men are allowed to be assertive when handling their business. So I believe that a black man should also be able to be assertive when handling business. Now, if you're being harmful and dismissive or you're tearing people down, I don't look at that as assertive. Like she said, we all have had some underlying issue, or we have underlying issues that we haven't resolved or we haven't healed. Those are some other things that you need to deal with because you're compensating for something that you're lacking in some type of way. Mm-hmm. And that's not assertion to me.
Well, from a black man's perspective, the one thing that we always and will always require from you as black queens is consideration.
What kind?
Just like, what was that?
What kind of consideration? Like, in what perspective?
In every aspect. Meaning this. Prime example, there's a TikTok videos, and I've been talking about it for the last week or so, where you have the woman doing that little gyrating dance and walking up with a kid, and she's got 2 or 3 sons walking up doing the same thing.
Gyrating, like winding.
That's working.
That twerking.
Was she showing her butt?
Yeah.
But she was
And then
like
all,
taking a credit line, and then 3 of her sons or 3 males, 3 young kids, maybe teenage, came behind her doing the same dance.
right.
I gotta see it.
You know,
Yeah, I
the
gotta see that.
consideration is that we're in a day and age where the all-seeing eye is actually the one or the thing that's teaching our children. The consideration of that, meaning I have 3 young black men who are already batting zero, and I'm teaching them to twerk, or I'm perpetuating this is a thing for you to do for all to see, which further degrades us. We as a black men are actually the only race. We're the most human. We're the most hated human on the face of this earth. The word said he would set every nation against us, and this is where we are. We can't go anywhere in the world without a stereotype being placed upon us. And the worst thing is that we go out and we try to make shit happen, but the measure between the oppression between the black woman and the black man is way different. Way different. The guy was right when he said there's no metrics in comparison, meaning you guys get more opportunities than we do with proper employment, with advancement, with being let into certain groups because of your strengths. The Democratic Party is basically driven by you all. We don't vote, or excuse me, our vote's not heard because it's so minute. They get you to bang the drums, beat the drums, all of this kind of stuff, you know, and we don't even have a voice. We're just holding the purse, waiting in the mall, waiting for y'all to get back.
Can I speak on that?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm actually getting ready to go to a client soon, but I just wanted to elaborate a little bit to try to bring a little bit more clarity for those that are listening, and for yourself, if I will. So the job rating thing, I haven't seen that video at all, but
Yeah.
we should. I'm not gonna, because I don't really know, but when it comes to certain things like that, like whining and stuff like that, that's originated from Africa. That's a way of expression. So I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing like some people. Now I don't think that I would be twerking my booty with my 2 kids right there. I'm not gonna do that. But as far as winding, like if you think about the carnival and stuff like that, they have children, they have people moving in a sensual way that's not viewed as sex, but that's to me in America.
Yeah, my people are from Trinidad, and men don't whine
Well,
and put their
even
asses
at
up in the air.
Carnival,
They ain't
even at
twerking.
Carnival, it doesn't.
Grind is
I
different.
mean, if you look at the videos, the men even gyrating, it doesn't look like the women gyrating.
Mhm.
It definitely is a. It's just a difference in that.
Yeah, I
The
didn't see it.
video,
Yeah.
the video, it didn't look masculine at all. Definitely looked like some feminine stuff for sure.
And then the
Yes.
opportunity thing I wanted to speak on. I think that personally that our colored men have not learned how to properly express themselves. If you notice, more in the colored community beat their children more than in a Caucasian community. We would look at them like, what the heck did you just say to your mama or your dad? And the fact that they're in tune with their emotions and they're not afraid to express those things and play different roles, I think that that's where that comes from. Because if a
But do you
powerful,
understand
you can.
why?
Hmm?
But you have to understand why we as black men have been stripped and we hold our emotions so tightly and we're
Right.
not
No, I
vulnerable.
get it. Oh, you know I
From the
get that.
beginning, from the beginning, you have to understand
Mhm.
we are still considered bucks that are being sought to be broken, just like the school to prison pipeline. All of those things. You have barbaric people who brought us here and raped everything in the house except for the goddamn cat. You hear me?
Oh no,
So
I'm
when
with
you,
you.
when you have that go on, and when we move about in the world, this is why so many things are not available to us, because they're threatened by us.
Well,
They're
I
threatened in every way by us. So
yeah.
to keep us against each other and looking at things, all right, here's the thing. We go back to the welfare.
Mhm.
We're looking at 70s. The schools were deindustrialized. Our great grandparents lived better, and I said this before, better than we do now then, because they were always able to work with their hands. Fast forward. We're not out, we can do that now, and I think that every young black man should have a business of his own. If it's nothing but painting or sticking his thumbs in a fucking pie, he should have his own.
Yeah.
The difference is that the way things are for most black guys out here, black brothers, is that $18 an hour ain't gonna cut it.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you gonna live and who are you providing for? Ain't gonna cut it. But at the same time, you can go and get the same position, or a position just above that guy, and receive a livable salary, a livable wage. And the hunter in him is not going to tell you that, look, I went out to try to catch trout, but all I got is this little squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's looking at ways to build himself. And then let's revert this back to when the deindustrialization in 1970 happened, and the only thing that was going on was Vietnam or the streets. So you're gonna do one of two things: you're gonna throw bricks at the penitentiary, or you're gonna go join the army and be all you can be. But regardless of what you decide to do, me and these babies are not gonna starve. So until you figure it out, I'm gonna go date this other dude. I'm gonna go date this white dude called Mr. Welfare. And you can't live here while I'm doing this. And because I have to degrade myself to go get this, you can't see your children. But this is what they tell you. Even now, you have people out here that are on, what is it called now? TANF? Assistance, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And because they let you have it, you better believe they want to know who the kid's father is, because they're gonna hem his ass up later.
Mm-hmm.
It is just another cause to keep us as black men under the gun. We'll never breathe.
Mm-hmm.
So, question. Go ahead.
Question?
Yeah, so for the black man who fathered those children, what do you feel should be his role? He should still support
Correction.
those kids?
There's a father and a mother.
No, I mean,
Just like
and
you put them legs up, you have to put them up. At the end of the day, the discussion
Absolutely.
should be whether or not we're going to struggle together. And that choice that was made to go and date the other guy, that should be discussed too. Because now you got your kid's father who will never get out from under that rock. Never. Because those arrearages don't go away. Government wants their money. If they help him take care of you, he wants his money.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually, one of my children's fathers owed over $11,000 in arrears. I forgave it and continued child support.
And that's the only way.
Yeah, some people, but you got to get there, like you said. And one thing about me is I might talk my trash and I know my stuff, but I've created my business in which a platform which will help people on the same topics that I discuss. I can help them heal from their trauma. So that's what it's about. You got to, like you told me, we can talk all day, but what are we doing about it?
What are we doing about it? Say it again. I love the fact that you all are on here. It's a breath of fresh air this evening. And there's some people that need to hear it. They need healing. They need to understand where they've come from, where we've come from, and where we're going. You know, so many people get caught up in, like, prime example, now they're deciding to honor Tulsa, or the murders, or the atrocities that happened to us in Tulsa. What that proved to me is this. People don't understand that, yeah, they were prosperous before Tulsa. But what they don't tell you is that those people went back and rebuilt Tulsa again.
Mm-hmm.
The threatening part is that when we are the head of our homes the way we're supposed to, we're unstoppable. We don't need anything they have. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem for them. When you talk about positive and projective people and influencers that were there before us, you talk about the Garveyites. You talk about Marcus Garvey. You talk about Noble. You talk about all these different people who made an impact on the way we view ourselves as kings and queens. in this country where they say we're free, but as everything else, that shit ain't free.
Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely. I mean, they're on record stating that the worst thing that could ever happen in a community is that we unite, is that we stick
Huh.
together,
Which is why Black Lives Matter was created, for our separation.
But you
right?
know
But it's
what?
also backed by a white man.
Yep, there you go. George Soros, he runs it
Hey,
along with Hillary Clinton's
hey, say it
campaign.
again. And he also funds a couple of other groups too
Yep.
that people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
My post I put on the other night was about these kind of things, the things that we don't see, like the Wizard of Oz. That curtain comes up, and you hear these things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my black man in poor white face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sure I've offended some people, but frankly, I don't give a fuck.
Me either.
Got
I'm
down with
actually
me,
about to
pull
leave
up.
out. When I leave out of my garage, it's gonna lose service, so I'll connect right back.
Yep.
I'm still here though, unless it disconnects.
Help us out with the woman thing, with the choices. Help us out with the understanding of why we as black men can't garner the respect that we deserve in this day and age, taking all the beatings that we did. Think about it. The first big black, buck that they saw and the strongest in the village, they whipped him. They raped him. They tarred and feathered him within an inch of his life in front of you, black woman, and your children. Willie Lynch said you'd do it for us. You
Right.
do your black men from birth, and we won't have to worry about him uprising because you'll do everything you need to do to silence him, to protect him from the outcome that his fathers received.
Man, I believe one of those things is healing. I think it starts there. You have to understand what your triggers are and what you are struggling with as a man to be able to even come to a woman in a vulnerable place. I said it before that we have to create safe environments where we are allowed to be vulnerable without judging one another. But I think that takes a certain thing from a man's man who maybe is not in touch with his emotional side or isn't able to express those emotions in a healthy way so healing can take place. But if you don't trust a black woman, we will never be able to heal those lines.
Well,
It
here's the
starts
thing.
with conversation and understanding where you are as a man and then understanding where I am as a woman and what the midway point is where we can begin to help one another.
Well, the hurts aren't the same, especially when you are being used as a divisive method to keep us down or out of the fight with you. Understand that. Listen, divine order is broken. All right, and matter of fact, you know what? Let me rewind it. Let me say it on some pimp shit. We as men are not supposed to help you. You are the helpmate. Help us take care of your ass. And I'm not talking about this. It's usually this and what's in here that your king needs to go out and do the things he needs to do. If you're not willing to do the work, meaning to instill that you can be trusted, that he can trust you with his social security number and his life, what are we talking about? Because it still goes back to now, it's me against you, me against you, me against you. But he has to do the work as well. When he's given the opportunity to show up, he's got to show up. He can't be on time. He's got to be before time. If he's on time, he's late. Period. That means he's got to be on post like the Secret Service. All day, all night.
He also has to be open enough to listen to what she is saying. If a woman who may have gone through her own, you know what I'm saying? If a woman has gone through her own traumas and she has worked through some of those things, I don't think you ever get to a point where you are healed completely. I think healing is an ongoing process as you grow and learn and understand your world. And so if she is working adamantly through her life in a positive way and she comes to you with things that you can do to help yourself so you can understand how she can help you better, but you don't want to listen to those things. Exactly. You don't want to hear that shit. It ain't gonna happen. You can't be closed off and wanting to be open at the same time.
Exactly. I got you. Respect.
To have a
No, I'm just
helpmate,
fucking with
you gotta help
you.
yourself.
You know, I'll say this. When it comes to, hang on one second. I don't want to lose you guys. Hang on. Give me 1 second. Bear with me, please. All right. We back. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll get a producer and I ain't got to do this shit no more. But anyway, with you guys. Oh, you know it is. Understand this. With regards to the duality of the relations between black men and women. All right. Let's say you go and get the welfare. Make sure that shit is enough for us to roll what we're working for back into it. That means if we're going to, my position, if we're going to break law, well, you're already breaking law from in the goddamn house. Let's break law. We're going to break law. Get the money, put it where it needs to be put. I'm going to sling this garbage, and we're going to come out here at some point in time, and we'll pay something to him back. We'll give him some of his money back. We ain't going to get it all, but we'll pay enough to keep me out of jail. You hear me? Which is another excuse to get me there. And then we'll come up. But you have sisters that won't do that. They're so selfish because, well, I'll say they butt hurt because they come and get something they ain't supposed to get, and they feel like they need to return it or hurt it in some way, shape, or form. So you know how y'all get. Fuck you.
I'm gonna be honest. I've done it, and I've done it not too long ago, and I had good reasons to do it too.
And here's the thing.
That's what I was gonna say.
You can have a solid guy. Let's say this motherfucker working at McDonald's. You know he ain't no a lot of money. He'll come and drop his check on tax for you, or half of it at least. And
Now,
you got the house,
he deserves
but because your welfare check was short and your other little money wasn't right, you couldn't get your hair braided this time. Nigga, you need to go give me some more money, or you can go.
Right, but you're talking about.
I've never been that type.
Fuck you.
Again, I hear you, and there are.
And y'all laughing because you know that's what I'm saying.
It is some truth, but as
oh, you been taking me out this Friday night. I want to go to eat Red Lobster or somewhere to eat me some crab or some shit. It's summertime, nigga. You can't take me? Oh, well, you can't be here tonight. I think you need to leave my key. So
Well, you know why they like that. Just like we got to be patient with y'all. Y'all got to. The problem is everybody, like I said on my live today, everybody is bringing their own set of life, their own set of ideas, their own set of trauma, their own set of whatever they've been around, and then we just smashing it together. You can't do that.
Can I be honest with you as a man?
Yeah.
You know what all a man wants? I mean, a motherfucking man. He wants one woman that the world may have touched her, but ain't had no whole bunch of access to her, meaning her inner self and her this. So when he locks into it, he knows all of this is following. It comes with. He don't want to see the hurts. He don't want to see the motherfucking mistakes you made with the bum ass dudes, and you know, he don't want to see that.
But that's not that simple.
He knows it exists, but at the same time, it's just like, goddamn, you know, what can you do?
Yeah, that's not fair because at the end of the day, a man is simple-minded too. They compartmentalize everything, and a woman put it all together.
Oh, I ain't simple.
Every man. It ain't no way. It's no way you don't come with some form of simple-minded where a woman comes with a lot.
Let me put it to you like this. I'm as cold as ice, calculated like fucking Chinese arithmetic. I'm one in a few. I ain't even got to tell my story. People that wrote my story about me that came and got me, it's there. They'll tell you this son of a bitch is very patient and calculated. Yeah.
Well, what about this? Let me give you an example.
For good or evil?
Both.
You know what?
Because you can't have one without the other.
Calculated.
Yeah. Because let me
I guess
be
that's
honest.
the scorpion in me. I was a very evil son of a bitch.
Hey, and I'm still.
Touch me on any of mine. Yeah. I don't give a shit if it's 10 years from now. I'm gonna see you coming out the grocery store with your mama, bag of groceries in your hand, feeling like Santa Claus in July, and it's gonna happen.
I must be honest. Even
Straight
being
like
a
that.
woman, like being a
Huh?
woman that I said, being a woman that I am, and coming into somebody's life and getting them a better paying job, walk them into the job, getting their
Mm-hmm.
kids free health insurance, getting them their license to, have a firearm, upgrade a motherfucker's life, and you still an
But see,
asshole?
why address it like that? You upgrade a motherfucker's life. Evidently, you
Because
fucked with him the long way.
that's
So
your
what
right.
happened that made you
But
say, well, fuck you, nigga, and I help
what made me say that is because I didn't do that for you to spend it with somebody else while you pretending while you got what you needed.
you? Listen, I was always taught when you do something, you do it from the heart.
No,
When
you
you
can
do
do
it,
it
you
from the
forget
heart.
about it.
No.
I'm built like that.
No.
That's just me. If I got it, there it is. It's gone.
No,
We ain't
it's
talking
not about
what I did.
no. It's some. You can't think like that when a person. This is the thing. A woman is emotional, and like I said, a woman is emotional. Yes. And one thing about me is I take
Yeah.
accountability. But when you dealing with a
What
man, you gotta.
what Jasmine say? Come pick up your feelings.
No.
Come pick them
You
motherfuckers
can
up.
look. I'm gonna pick up them feelings, but yours gonna be hurt more than mine.
Why? Why we got to do that?
Because let me tell you something. Don't play with me. That's all I'm
Y'all
gonna say.
don't move like that.
Don't
Y'all
play
get
with
Well,
me.
hurt, and
here's one thing I do
y'all
know.
don't never let nothing go.
Huh?
I'll
Now I
tell
said
you like
men
this.
move like that. If a woman hurts a man, he ain't ever letting that shit go.
Mhm.
Well, I'm not that guy. The only thing that can fuck with me is excuse my French. You know what? This is my shit. I'm gonna speak freely.
You can do that.
If a motherfucker and I don't care who you are, put me in a position where I am potentially physically can be threatened, we got an issue all the way around the board. That means that there was some information that I should have known, and you let me walk into a spot with a motherfucking target on my back, meaning that those people knew who the fuck I was, and I didn't know who the fuck they were. We got a problem. You see, now the trust issue's gone. That means you didn't have my back. You weren't watching my back.
Absolutely.
You know,
If
you
somebody
should have
walks
both.
into
Let's
that
say you're in a
situation,
restaurant, both of y'all sitting at doors, right? And there's traffic coming in and out the door, but you got a motherfucker walking up behind you and laughing and giggling, and you let the motherfucker get up on me, and he smashed me in the head with a goddamn bat. I look at that kind of thing. That's the only problem I have. I'm not threatened by nothing. You can go fuck who you want to fuck. I don't own you. I don't have no receipts for you. You can do what you want to do. That lets me know what I need to do. You weren't for me. You were fucking with me the short way. So what happens for me, pimping kicks in, and that's it. I have to evaluate what the investment or the loss was. Can I get my pimping back? What is it I need to do? Did I invest much? Did I expose my hand too much? Whatever the fuck it was, I got to evaluate at that point in time. And then I can't go back down that road. But you got some guys that get attached to that bush you got, and they want to hide in the bush. They want to come up on your job. They want to be sitting in the back seat when you're getting, like you're driving in the car right now. They want to be in the back seat waiting for you to get in the car. I love you. I'll kill you, bitch. Yeah, it's me. It's me. You just don't
you
know.
crazy.
And all of that, right? Those are not men. That means that he has too much time on his hands and he was never worth yours. Understand that. Fuck with me. I'm going to get up and go to work tomorrow. I'm going to come here and shoot this show. And then I'm going to go get on this water or whatever the fuck I'm doing and enjoy my life. Fuck your ass. Poof. Just like that. Because just like you, there are 10 that'll come and fill your spot. Boom, boom, boom. This is the day and age we live in. Now, as I said last night, as long as I keep the snack bags on deck, they're going to come and get it. Change, the chips, and we ain't got no water, but I can do some club soda tonight.
Except bag. You're gonna get that caliber of a woman. Ones who like
You know
those
what?
little snack packs. Because
One
there's
thing
only a
about it
certain
is,
type of female that fuck with snack packs.
I got that. But see, they know who they are. You don't pay a hoe to stay, you pay her to leave.
Absolutely.
A woman, you got to handle your business. and you know you got a woman because she's handling her business. So you can handle some business together once you get beyond the bullshit, meaning that the distrust that I may have and the distrust that you may have, which is retrospective to what you guys were talking about earlier, the vulnerability of a man, the vulnerability of a woman, meaning that, yeah, some shit has happened to me. Yeah, some bitches got out on me, got some money, lied to me, stole from me, put me in positions where I could get hurt and harmed. Yeah, all that shit's happened. But you didn't. So what we doing? How are we moving forward? Can you be as honest and as flagrant with me as I need to be with you? Even if our finances are fucked up today, and you got to go get on that motherfucking that EBT. All right, how we gonna rock this? How much they giving you? We what? 800, 1200, whatever it is. All right, cool. But we need to be doing this shit. Whatever we got to do to get out this bag. I'm gonna go get to working on the construction site. This is what they paying me. Whichever you can get. We need to take that shit. If we gonna whatever we doing, whether we running numbers, breaking law, going to get an ice cream truck, whatever the fuck we doing, we need to be doing that. Building your credit, building my credit, to get us to the point where we need to be, where we can breathe and really be about us and not be conformed to somebody else's system that's constantly fucking us and been
I
fucking
gotta
us,
go,
and
y'all.
fucking us over.
I gotta go.
Thank you for joining.
Nice
I'm gonna
meeting
come back.
you.
It was a pleasure, and I want to get your information so we can chat more, and we got to do this again. Bye.
Make sure you two get y'all's information.
Okay.
Yes.
Please. All right. Bye.
Thank you. Awesome. I thank her for joining.
Mm-hmm.
Goddess Natasha. So,
Are you in a space, mister, where you have dealt with your past traumas, where you can be vulnerable?
man, I don't give a fuck about my past traumas. It happened. I get over it. I deal with what's going forward. I don't want it to happen again. So my eyes have to be open and ever vigilant. That's called management. I'm in the fourth quarter of my life. Well, excuse me, rolling into the fourth quarter of my life. I ain't gonna be fucked up based on mismanagement of time, self, resources, spiritual thoughts, all of that kind of stuff. For me, I'm a giver. So I give people a chance. And with that, there's always room for reparations and reciprocity. But sometimes you got to go through the lashings to get to that point where you can repair something. I can't lie to a motherfucker and say, hey man, trust me today. And they say, motherfucker, you just lied to me. You got to show me something. And then when you show me something, I'm still going to question until I feel like I don't have to question anymore. Yeah, I'll give you, you made that mistake. And that's that. But I do believe some of what the brother was saying. Actually, a lot of it, what the brother was saying. Now, who we got on the Instagram side? You got something to say? What? Let me come on, talk to me. Tell me something, damn it. What about them? They're gorgeous, but they get on my goddamn nerves. You know what? The world wouldn't be right for us without y'all. Yes, ma'am.
You did a whole bunch of talking. I've been on here for a long time waiting. Jesus. So let's talk about taking advantage of government system.
Yes, ma'am.
Black women take advantage of government system, but what y'all don't realize is that the way that government assistance is set up, if I am on government assistance and I go work at McDonald's, number one, my rent is going up from $20 a month to $400 a month. Number two, I'm going to lose my medical benefits. So now I have to pay a monthly premium plus copay. Number three, I no longer have child care. So does it benefit an individual, female, male, ever, to be on government assistance and to start working? The answer from a fiscal perspective is no.
Well,
That's number one.
I would say this. For time, no.
Perfect. So, as it relates to putting them out, my mom was on government assistance. There was many dudes living in the projects with us, even though men, quote unquote, wasn't supposed to be on government assistance. Was supposed to be inside the housing This
Mhm.
is where I agree with you and not the dude. Is that if the man, only time the man got to be gone is when the people, the quote unquote people, are coming to check to see if there's a man there.
Of course.
So then he goes while he's out selling or doing whatever he's doing. That's what he needs to be doing while the grocery or the next manager or whatever's in the house.
Can I be honest with you a second, sister?
Of course.
Do you know what drives a motherfucker to do shit like duck out and dip out and roll out? Because he ain't got it. And he's not man enough to tell you, look here, bitch, I ain't got it. I'm gonna go get it, but it's gonna take me some time. But until then, do this and keep track of what you got so that I know how I need to proceed with getting these people their money back so I don't end up where I don't want to go.
Okay, perfect.
And a lot of times it means that I've got to go through a brick at the penitentiary. And this is what's happened over the years. And I'm just speaking from my uncles and, you know, friends of the family and so on and so forth. And shit, I threw bricks at the penitentiary until I ended up there. So, yeah.
You know, a lot of us have passed, and we'll let that go before we have security clearance. But then, when the gentleman had mentioned about women talking about hot girl summer, but then we're fed. The reality is, I just had this conversation with someone that was very close to me. If you look at most young black or most black females, the majority of black females have been either one sexually harassed or molested when they were younger by a family member, by somebody they didn't know. Why do we tell little girls when they're out there dancing, oh my God, stop being womanish? What is womanish about a young child dancing? What is womanish about a young child wearing a dress or anything else? That's because our mentality is fucked up. It's not the child's mentality.
Yeah.
Okay? So then, and this is the thing that really, like, got my pants in the bunch now. When you're talking about the feminist movement, I will agree that in every group, whether it's a male group or a female group, there are definitely those extremists. However, the whole purpose of the feminist group is number one, to help with domestic violence. Do you realize what the rule of thumb was?
What's the rule of thumb?
The rule of thumb is your husband can beat your ass, and as long as the bruise is not bigger than his thumb, he does not have to go to jail. The feminist movement stopped that. The feminist movement stopped the fact that women had to go and fuck the hiring manager in order to get a job.
Well, she had to fuck NASA to stay on the compound, pick some cotton. There's no difference in that.
No, it is different. And the difference is that
No. Let me put it to you like this. Renegades always need some pimping. They need a pimp. They can't go out here. There's a conflict of interest for you to talk about it yourself. I'm gonna pay you the bare minimum. So if it's a job you're getting, that's all you're gonna get. But if I was to roll up on the job with the pistol and say, hey, look here, man, you want a taste? We want your salary. We want your motherfucking benefits. And we need a stipend up front right now. And if you ever say anything about it,
You are breaking up bad.
house, boom, boom. Send your daughter. The benefits are different, but I'm gonna benefit from this. We're gonna benefit from this. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
But I'm just saying, it's the exact same thing. So at some point, when is the black man gonna stop blaming the black woman and stand the fuck up and take their natural place?
Here's the thing. That could happen, but the amount of assertiveness that would take place or would have to take place because of the bad behaviors and the, you know what, Dennis would make a lot of money because you broads would lose a lot of fucking teeth because it starts with control. Yeah. You talk a lot of shit. I'm just trying to tell you, there's some jokers out here that would run through that shit and wouldn't care about the consequence.
Hey, and it is what it is. Broke one, you gonna pull back the stuff.
I hear you.
Play with them bras like you said. You got the little snack packs and the little $40 for. This ain't no $40 house shit. Listen. I don't know no fucking Kiana. I'm just saying. Listen. The assertiveness, the actual aspect of it is what I'm saying, that the mind of the majority of the females nowadays, because they're so puffed up with their own sense of liberation. I wish a nigga would tell me something. You ain't telling me, you know, you can't talk to me like that. You can't tell me nothing. You can't. And that's the thing. And no man that's been, how do I say this? Am I preaching tonight, y'all? Listen, no man that's been punked as long as, listen, and ain't no motherfucking, what's his name? Adam Kutcher, whatever the fuck his name is. I'm still waiting for the camera crew as a black man to come out and say, you've been punked. As much as we've been fucked over and raked across the coals in our lives as black men, there is no way that we really want to relinquish any parts of ourselves in our home or in our bed to the woman that's supposed to be quote unquote submissive to us. We've been taking an ass whooping all day from these honkies, and we would come in the house and take an ass whooping from you. So this is the reality. This is what you need to do. It's like you need to figure the fuck out how to date in their budget. They also need to date in their skill level. If you can't handle a workforce, stay your ass back there with the little lady.
But when you say workforce or date within their budget, I mean, shit, you could do free shit all day long. I could date you on gas money. There's places we can go eat for free. Look here. Tomorrow we going on a date, me and you. I'm gonna take you to the fucking museum, and we're gonna go to St. Mark's over there and get our bag lunch with a cookie and a juice. We ain't paying for it. I'm gonna give you $10 for your gas tank, and then after that, we're gonna go back and get our dinner from St. Mark's, and then we're gonna walk around the mall to see the monument. I'm saying.
And what I'm saying is this: is that there are some women out here who are harder to manage than others, and that's fine.
But they too busy managing other people.
Sir, let me finish. All I'm saying is date within your skill level. And what your skill level is this: everybody is not meant. Everybody is not alpha. Everybody's not Sigma, and everybody's not Charlie. Date on your level. Because people talk about women being strong and women doing this and women doing that. All women, and I submit to you, all women are willing to submit to a man worthy of submitting. The problem is, and I'll speak for me specifically, I ain't gonna submit to a beta male. It ain't gonna work out that way.
Okay.
But if a man can tell me what to do, he can tell me what the fuck to do. But he better be able to tell me what to do.
Exactly. So I'm gonna tell you what to do.
Only because it's your show. Only because it's your show. So when I see you on the street, that's how I was seeing you on the street. I'm not gonna tell you.
Hey, you know what? You right. You right. I ain't no contest, no mas. Look, you right. But the thing is, this is what I'm asking for ladies tonight. Please, if you have a man, if you have a suitor, if you have someone who's half-ass decent enough to keep your attention and your focus and in any way edifies you, please become the teacher that you are, because you are the first teacher to all of us that come into the world. teach that man how to love you.
Agreed. I agree.
Period. This is no cookie cutter thing. Just because he was in love with someone else or loved somebody else doesn't mean he knows how to love you. God broke the mold when he made you. He broke the mold when he made you. There's only one of you. And only you know how you need to be loved. So it needs to be custom to you and how you want your shit to be. And you got to recognize too, it's going to take some patience from you to recognize that, hell, you got a guy who's been living for 20, 30 years and doing shit the way he's been doing it. For him to get acclimated to you is going to take some patience. If he's willing to listen and take the time and put some effort into compromising and doing the things you need to do to make you feel good about the situation that you have, that there is growth there, the soil is being tilled, man, you got nothing but exponential growth ahead. So yeah, please teach him how to love you.
I agree. And then I'll let somebody else, because I know I take the whole lot of your time, is that instead of complaining about what the other do, the other group does, the male or the female does, what we need to be doing is understanding that, and I agree, we both have our natural role. But anything that a good man gives a good woman, she is going to multiply for him.
Mm-hmm.
You give her a seed, she will give you a child. You give her a house, she will make it her home. You bring home ingredients, she's going to make you a damn meal. Now, with that being said, if you bring me home a can of mixed vegetables and some damn hot dogs, guess what you get? Mixed vegetables and hot dogs. I'm going to make it look pretty with a little salt and pepper, but it ain't going to be the same as if it was steak and asparagus. Does that make sense?
Yep. Pretty.
So don't bring me no shit and expect me to make it 50 times better in what you want it to be.
You better turn that shit into steak. Ooh, have a problem. Take my shoe off.
And get
Get
hit with
on the
it.
edge of that bed and hope you turn it into steak. Listen, Ike Turner too. He lives. IT2.
In heaven with the Lord.
Don't believe the motherfucking stories that white man went and produced for that woman. Tina got her ass beat to the day she left. The name was the fucking name stayed. The name stayed there. Blood was on that shit. Shit. And she was still paying his ass to the day he died. He didn't have to fucking not a check bounce. That motherfucker went to prison and everything else for cocaine, all that shit. Tina was still paying his ass. If that's some pimping for you, that's some pimping. Let me tell you something. You don't want to be in that position. You ain't from Nutbush. You ain't going in no outhouses. And that's that. So you can't help Ike. So we're not going to talk about that.
You brought up Ike.
No, honestly, I truly, I like the fact that y'all are on here as queens, man, and it's just a breath of fresh air for those who are here and need to hear this. You know, you got to start somewhere. You know, to be vulnerable, it starts with the teaching and being able to be teachable as brothers. Brothers, be teachable. Yeah, well, it's something. As long as you don't do no OnlyFans and shit like that, you all right.
If you got to pay the bills, it is what it is.
Well, damn. Y'all still be going, well, you know what? There's programs in Maryland that pay mortgages and shit. You need to get with that because, OnlyFans ain't gonna work for you.
Not being obese.
No. You can. Bye. If you're just joining, the topic tonight is this really what the fuck we doing? The topic was based on the fact that there was a video that was posted by a gentleman who was pointing out some deficiencies with black women and the division between black women and black men, about how you demean us and you are constantly in control and basically saying that you know, even with the billions of dollars that leave the community with y'all's hair, nails, and makeup, and butts and boobs, and the shit that y'all do to yourselves, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Fuck it.
But
If
that's
I'm
the
fucked up,
that's the main stuff y'all like on Instagram. That's what y'all always
yeah,
double
but
tapping on.
no. And you know, listen, to a man, it looks good, but we know that shit is trouble. And we know damn well that that broad is messed up emotionally, and she done been ran through. So no, we ain't taking that home to mama. What Steve say? She's a sports fish. We catch her, we show her all, we talk about her, and we throw her back. We want the trout or the Chilean sea bass, that rare thing that you just happen to, oh, I got it, and it's this big, and it's, yeah. Now we take that home.
But y'all
The
don't
sports fish,
communicate those things. What y'all show in the public eye and for everyone to see is that y'all are attracted to a certain type of thing, but then you get mad or there's something being said
we
about the
don't show
amount of
anything.
money.
Let me say this to you.
You said
The
what now? I didn't
algorithm,
get that.
we don't show anything just because they click likes on that shit. See, I'm saying they and we don't. I distance myself from that kind of shit. Anyway, the algorithms pick that up, and it looks like hundreds of thousands of jokers and click like on it because you got your ass up and you post it up in the sun and you somewhere in fucking well, I don't see a lot of niggas in St. Barts. I never did when I go. But anyways, let's say the Maldives, well, Dubai or some shit like that. And you got a broad over there, you know, posted up in a hotel some goddamn where, and you never see the dude that she's with because she ain't traveling by her goddamn self. I mean, well, let me take that back. There's some that may make that move, but they're working. But this one worked before she got there. All these pictures they posted, and you never see the people that she with because the dude is not the dude she wanted to be showing herself with. But you know how they go. Yeah.
I get
Thoughts
that, but
and
it
thoughts?
just sends a
I ain't
false
perfect.
narrative
What were you
to
talking
the
about?
impressionable. I'm just talking about the things for impressionable women who believe that is the standard of beauty. When that is, whether it's an algorithm or whatever it is that is being seen, that is always pushed to the forefront as a standard of beauty. And so, unfortunately,
But
when you have people,
listen,
uh,
but we as men are not the ones that control your goddamn going up here, your thought process. It's you and other women. When you look at another woman, you say, "Oh, she cut up. She got a nice body. She got a nice bag. I want that. She living
no, that's
right."
not what I say.
Well, you know
Because
what?
I go off
You're an
of
exception to the rule,
what I'm
but
cool
I'm
with.
talking about those that
What
drive the car.
absolutely.
You know,
And that's all I'm
listen.
saying. The people who are impressionable, they are the ones who believe that that is the standard of beauty. And so they aspire to be those things. When those type of
Right.
things are getting the attention, especially when you have a false sense of self and you're not cool enough with who you are, just being the fly individual that you are, and you feel like the things that are being shown on TV or social media is the standard by which you should be living.
I get it. I truly get it.
And the
All I
men
can
don't
say
help
is,
either because y'all love that stuff.
you know what?
Or it appears that you all do.
I guess you could say that men are a fan of titties and ass. I mean, if we weren't, we wouldn't be men. But at the same time, it's good to look at. But ain't nobody taking it home. Ain't nobody really trying to get it in a box and, hey, come see me. You know, want to date you and put a ring on you or some shit like that. You know what? It's a shame that people over here on this side still going in. The real reader said that got my pressure all up. Sometimes, damn it, that's what happens. King Rock 22 just joined the room. Come back, Kitty's in the room. She said, date who? Kilo Key 1818 is in the room. Diva Burritos in the room. Welcome. Omabi Sanders just joined the room. Man, listen. If you just joined the room, the topic tonight is this really what the fuck we doing? There it is, damn it. We're talking about the fact that someone asked a question, a lady asked a question, can you really help me out to understand why black men hate black women so much? Which is actually a good question because there are some that do. And honestly, for a time, I had some resentment towards you sisters because of the shit that you do. And it's not about so much you resenting me, it's just, or you've done anything to me. It's just the fact that as a whole, you don't recognize the pigeonhole that you've been put in to do these motherfuckers bidding to keep us down. Constantly, well, why can't you get a job? You know why? Because it's set up that way for me not to have a fucking job. And then on the flip side, shit, you could be up and say, well, shit, I ain't helping that motherfucker get up and do nothing. But in all actuality, that's the position you need to be playing. Real talk. Because of the way the deck's been stacked against us, it's easier, and I'm saying this on some pimping, it's easier for me to send you to go get it because they are not going to give it to me. Ever. But under the auspices that he can potentially get to you and get some of you, he gonna give it up to you. And all I need you to do is bring it back for us. You ain't got to give him shit.
But a real woman recognizes that, correct?
Show me a real woman. We're a real woman in the room. Raise your fucking hand. Throw some thumbs up. Let me know you're in here. Because there's a lot that don't. I see your thumbs. Thank you. There's a lot that don't. They go with it. They want the little bullshit trip. They want the little bullshit $200-$300. They want the motherfucking snack bag, the lunch in the middle of the day. So you're sitting there with a white man walking around. Oh, yeah, I'm doing something different because he makes me feel exotic or some bullshit. Bitch,
Is
you
it
ain't
a
nothing but a
real man?
bed wench.
Is it a man that would entertain that female though? Because I don't see a man even entertaining that.
Listen. When we talk about assertion and being assertive and aggressive, that kind of thing, it is like this. With every aspect of it all, someone who's been independent and someone's coming in to lay some sort of structure, it's going to get worse before it gets better. The question is, where's the wherewithal with you? Are you really ready to deal with some shit like that? Or are you just talking? Because a real motherfucker, he ain't rewarding no bad behavior. He gonna tell you straight up, you need to get in the fucking line. But this is my shit. This is where we going. We're going down here. And along the way, yeah, we can tackle your interests and shit like that, but we're gonna end up here. This is the destination.
I get that.
Some things to happen for me.
But what I don't get is the approach. Sometimes the approach is just a bit much. It's like if you want a woman to step into her role or you want her to be the feminine woman to you, but you're treating her manly, how do you disarm her so she's not aggressive towards you in the understanding that you need her to have?
Well, the
You
thing
can't
is,
handle
you've
her
already
like
been
a man.
playing the man. Let's retrospective.
Okay.
You've already been the king and queen. You've been both. It's on you to say, fuck it, I'm not the king no more. The king is already here. I'm the queen. So what's the queen's role? See,
right.
Let me say this to you. God gave you, or the creator, whatever you want to call him, gave you something that he did not give us as men. He gave you the spirit of discernment. We as hunters as men, we're impulsive. You're maternal. So with that is this. We're there for the hunt. We're there for whatever it is. Meaning we're here to remove whatever obstruction it is to our lives. But you as the maternal instinct, your spirit of discernment is to plug in and tap into everything around us. to give us that guidance. This is the helpmate. Prime example. Let's say tonight I introduce you to Johnny. I say, hey, this is Johnny. Nice to meet you, Johnny. But before the night's over, you pull me aside and say, hey, you know what? Something ain't right about Johnny. Johnny's fucked up. His spirit ain't right. Something ain't right. Don't do any business with Johnny. And then 6 months later, we hear Johnny was some old motherfucking rat bastard, pedophile, whatever the fuck he was, or some scam artist or some shit like that. This was because the fact that we plugged into each other and we tuned into each other and were able to dial each other's positions up or down.
Mhm.
If you were playing a man and a woman, or a man and the woman in your life, and you dialed the man aspect of your life down, and the individual you were with was able to fulfill that position, then you can hear one another. But you can't hear each other if you're not playing your parts. The point I'm making to you is, me as a man, and I'll say this to you, I'll say it again, I don't play well with other dudes. I'm a man's man. Either we gonna get along or we gonna rumble. You gotta get the fuck from around me. I don't trust you. This is what it is. We gotta have that discussion. We gotta be vulnerable on one another, know our strengths and weaknesses, come to a sort of understanding with each other, or you can't be around me. That's just me. You're gonna work with this. Period. When it comes to a woman who's been being the man and the woman in her life, meaning pumping her gas, simple shit that you should never have to do, taking out her trash, taking care of her kids, making provision in her home. These are the things that you should never have to do alone. But because you pick up those things, there's a certain thing or aspect that comes with you, meaning even with the protection of your person, that has to be relinquished for someone like me, an alpha, or we're going to clash. We're not going to survive.
I get that.
You must know that if an alpha says, I got you, their word, their integrity, everything means more than anything else because it exudes them. It exudes them.
All right, I have a question. So,
What's your question?
in the situation where the woman was forced to be the man for whatever reason, she had to raise her kids, she had to go out and work, she pumps her own gas, she has to cut her own grass, and all of those things. If you happen to if you are interested and you encounter that woman, is it an automatic, no, I can't deal with you, or is there some type of patience of understanding? Because she's not going to overnight just be disarmed by who she thinks you are until you prove yourself to be exactly what it is that you're showing her.
Oh yeah, you got to show up ready to work. You got to show up ready to work. You got to be understanding of the fact that you did have a life prior to him, and vice versa.
Right. So
that
based upon that
needs to happen.
During that time period, though, are you super aggressive with this person to try to, is it a breakdown thing or is it a more patient and understanding thing? How does that come across?
You know, I guess it depends on the stage of life or the quarter you playing. You know what I'm saying? If you got second quarter going into the third, you can be passive. But if you're third and you're going into the fourth quarter, listen to me. 20 years is this. You're in the fourth quarter of your life. You ain't got no time to spare. You have no time to spare. Get it or get the fuck gone. It's just that simple. Nobody was wasting time with one motherfucking foot in the grave and one foot, alive and trying to build something with somebody that you're uncertain with. Because the person you're building with is 9 times out of 10 going to be the person you leaving that shit to. Aside from your children, if you got any.
No, I get that. I'm just wondering what that looks like. If it's like, look, you better get in line, you better get in line, you better get in line. Like, what is that? Because it has to be some level, or my understanding, it has to be some level of patience. And I'm not saying patience forever. Once you show who you are and you're consistent with that, once she shows that she can be disarmed and she is who you believe her to be and she has shown you that, there would be no need for all the aggression. That's just my opinion.
And that still takes some time, but at the same time, going into it, you have to have the understanding that you are willing to relinquish that.
Absolutely.
Let's just say you're dating, right?
Hmm.
You have conversations with folks that present themselves in a different way. Okay, cool. But at the end of the day, you got to know that I see a lot in this individual and I see potential in this individual to say, I'm going to let this go, whatever
Right.
that may be, right?
Hmm.
So when do you get to the point where you just say, hey, fuck it, show me something? Because that's what it has to come down to. Show me something. Because you can talk to you blue in the face. We all do. We all do.
Yeah, I
Talk to you blue in
believe
the face.
once you know that you're interested in a person, like I need to see something. I want to know what it is. What are we really doing? Because I don't know if I'm in the fourth quarter of my life, but I still don't have time to waste with anyone. So are we shooting for the moon or we ain't shooting nowhere?
There you go. Now, what are you willing to compromise in that shoot? Getting on a rocket ship, you got to be willing to compromise something. That's it. That's
Whatever
all.
that mood is. Yeah. Yeah, period.
Well, I'll tell you like this. We as a collective must get our shit together and understand the things that are being done to us and have been done to us. It's like we are so fucked up that we are willing to vote for the lesser evil.
Hmm.
When in all actuality, we didn't have to do shit. Let them huggies have their shit.
Absolutely.
Get our own shit again. The way I look at things now, people may say, "Oh, well, you got to do things because woo woo." One thing I do know that these people are gonna do whatever the fuck they want to do when they want to do it. The question is, how prepared are you to bob and weave and call an audible on your life and continue to survive?
Right.
To this day, people don't understand why the stock market is still moving, but everything else has gone on. These people are pumping this shit up and inflating the fuck out of it, even with the real estate market. But at the same time, all of the banks, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, everybody's doing set aside. I'm gonna set aside $4 billion. I'm gonna set aside 800 million. I'm gonna set aside this, that, and the other because hell, they're gonna default on these motherfucking loans. Or they're gonna default on this money. They're gonna default on these homes. We can't get it back. But at the same time, they got people willing to jump out there and throw their money into the market with hopes that they can have a retirement or some sort of get back. Here you go. Same thing is applicable to man and woman, black man, black woman. You black women, you are given so much, so many opportunities to be recognized. Oh, Black Girl Summer, whatever the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? Bobby Summer, whatever the fuck y'all claiming, right? And I'm saying y'all as a whole because when in Rome, the majority rules. You do what the motherfuckers do. You can be an exception all you want, but to those who don't know you and they see you and meet you, you LaQuisha.
Absolutely. I get it.
I have never met a LaQuisha a day in my fucking life, but
Me either.
you LaQuisha. Point I'm making is that the more we decide we want to change for things, the more we stand the same. Unless we latch on to one another and keep each other accountable for the things and the decisions that we make. Consideration goes a long way, meaning consideration in the decision that I make tonight to go and do some crazy ass shit that will come back and visit me 5 years from now and say, hey, you remember me? But I'm somewhere with you 5 years from now in some sort of fruitful relationship. And here's a knock at the door. Here's June 17th. You remember me? I just came to visit and say, what's up? Fuck what you got going on now. You feel me?
Absolutely.
But we're not willing to deal with those things, meaning we express it. Hey man, you know what? The night I met you, you know what? I left you and I got with somebody else. It didn't mean nothing, but it happened. I ain't never talked to them again. This was their name. This is where I met them. This is where we were 5 years ago. But hey, 5 years ago and tonight, what's up? You remember me? We had the discussion. You're never in the dark. You're never in the dark. We were just being prepared for what was to come because we knew it was coming. If it makes sense.
Absolutely. I get that.
Yeah.
But how would you even know to share that?
You know what? You know when you fucking up. You know goddamn well you out here doing something that's not going to produce any fruits or substance. You know you fucking up. Even if you're on some Cindy Lauper shit and you're out here having fun, you know goddamn well when you love somebody else, you need to let that motherfucker know where you've been. Because you don't know who they know or who knows them. Don't be an embarrassment. That shit is foul. That shit is foul. Don't be an embarrassment to who you're with. This is what I mean, consideration. Most of us, when we're young, we don't consider the fact that at some point in time, I'm going to want to say I do to somebody. And I don't want to embarrass this motherfucker. And I don't want him to embarrass me. So I hope you consider me in the conversations that we have while we embark on this way. Oh, here we go. Somebody said you want a whole fast. Why sway? You know what? It's good to have a whole fast. God damn it. That's on both parts. Oh, Lord. Here we go. What you want, woman?
So wait, so you saying you want a whole fast?
Of course. If I can get a Carfax, why not get a whole fax?
But then she gets a whole fax resident what you did too.
Of course.
So she gets to see all your DMs.
Listen. Of course. Let me put it to you like this. Where it's relevant, she need to know it. Listen to me. I'm not going to have her going to a fucking hair salon where,
That's what's relevant, though.
It's all relevant.
Right.
It's all relevant. You goddamn right. Because see, let me put it to you like this. Let's say. No. Let me give you some game. This is pimping 101. Listen to me. All right, I'm gonna send you to get your hair done, right? But I send you into the salon. But unbeknownst to you, I used to fuck with the damn girl that's doing your hair. Now she get wind because I dropped you off. You get your hair did. Then you get your wash, you get your condition. You come sit in the chair, you put the motherfucking perm in your hair. And she leave it in there a few minutes too long. Let me finish. She leave it in there a few minutes too long. But then she come put the color in your hair. And you come out, and I got to change your name to Patches. But then you find out later that I knew this broad and how she knew me. How would you feel?
I think that's different than somebody 5 years later knocking on your door that you never anticipated somebody knocking on your door.
Oh, pause. Excuse me. She's talking. Let me let her talk.
I can't hear her. Excuse me. Don't be rude.
Right. You foul because you should have never took your new bitch to your old bitch. Right. But see, a lot of you females take your old nigga, your new nigga around your old nigga, or in areas where your old nigga be, and your old nigga got a one up on your new nigga, talking about shit behind your new nigga and looking to cut into your new nigga to find out what your new nigga about and see if he can get back with his old bitch. That's pimping. That's not the case. That would never be the case.
If you want to go home back, like, I don't know if you do Ray Ray or Pookie.
The point is, everybody should have a fucking whole fact. It's like buying a used car. You don't know where it's gonna break down at. I don't want to be driving that motherfucker down 95 and end up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the motherfucker break down and shit because hell, I didn't get a Carfax. At least I know I need to get a new transmission or some shit like that. The worst shit you can have is a motherfucker to have one up on you, a female to have one up on you and tell you about your man.
Listen, see, this is here in life why people lie. That's why all females say they fuck 5 guys because they can always remember the 5 fingers on one hand.
Yeah, and them motherfuckers got 50,000 miles on that box. And motherfucker, we know it. We feel the spirits. The combative spirits, man. You're nasty, damn it. Just nasty. Just fucking nasty. You nasty asses. Just fucking nasty. Just out here fucking. Just fucking. I ain't doing that. You better know it. You better know that. Let me say this to you. Goddamn. The point I'm making to you is in certain scenarios, it needs to be confessed. You should have your individuals back. Consideration. Listen, the word says, confess your sins one to another so it don't hold you in bondage. Just like freaking with the preacher. Okay, until they show up on the doorstep or trying to, what's up, man? How you doing? I see you got a nice car. Man, who the fuck is you? Oh, yeah. I used to know you. I knew your lady, Cola. Then they get the brakes whooped off of them. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Why would you have another motherfucker have a one-up on your guy? Would you feel some kind of way if you walked in a situation and everybody knew that I was fucking the bartender, except for you, and we owned the club? Hey, but that's how y'all get down. Y'all get down that way. And I'm saying it because the dudes are, listen, we are not unified. We're going to go with it as long as we fucking. Because we don't control the selective nature of sex. You do, unless we taking pussy. And if that's the case, then damn, you know what rapists need to be. They had the head bashed into some shit. But the point I'm making to you is we fuck who allow us to fuck. And we ain't gonna fuck that up. No. Listen. You can go on POF, Black Planet, Facebook, Instagram. Matter of fact, you can go on InstaSlut. You can go on any one of those and say, hey, I need to see you tonight. And I guarantee you have about 10 cars lined up down the block, ready to see you tonight. You in that hair, without a cab. They're going to be right there, goddammit. That's the point I'm making. We can't do that shit.
It's not
be a
the
whole bunch of shit with
situation, though. You get two different
you
scenarios.
Yeah, I don't want to be all that. And yeah. They ain't lining up in front of my motherfucking house to fuck me. I don't give a shit what they doing. How much it is. It's going to be a whole bunch of, well, you got to take me out. We can go out to drinks and dinner and whatever. Regardless, they've made their mind up. And you know damn well, when a woman makes her mind up, she know from the jump street whether you're going to be a friend, we fucking, or I ain't never talking to your punk ass again. And if you get in the friend zone, you ain't gonna hear from me. You text me here and there, you send me a little flyer to your little party or some shit like that. I might swing through. Yeah, nigga, we can blaze something together here and there. Holla, my brother, you know, whatever. Boom. You that motherfucker? Hey, look, well, you gotta take me somewhere and do something nice with me. Listen, the drugs you are smoking right now, I want some of that shit because that's real. There's a selective order to the sexual makeup of men and women. It's who you say is going to make it and the others ain't gonna make it. There's a cut list. If you ain't make the cut list, nigga, you ain't gonna ever make it. Pack your shit, delete, block, whatever you got to do. It just ain't gonna ever happen. But those that crease that motherfucking threshold to say there's potential for you, and as long as you kick me out, make me feel nice about this decision that I already made about you, you fucking. And I'm saying it to you. I got into the math the other day. Average female out here might meet 2 guys a year. 2. Isn't that a lot? And then in a 6-month period, you dating one guy in 6 months. Okay, what didn't work? Fuck you, nigga. And then boom, you got one more guy. You rock out through cuffing season. January, February, March roll around. Honeymoon season. Honeymoon thing happening. You bang this nigga out 10 times. And I'm being very modest with the number because you know it's greater than that. 10 years go by. It's 20 dudes times 10. That's a modest number, 200 times. And we ain't counting the one-night stands that you had. We're not counting those. We're not counting the random niggas that you, well, you know, or excuse me, or one of the 10 that you did have, or the 20 that you did have that came back to visit you again. You know, girl, I was missing you. I was thinking about you. You know, whatever. And yeah, let's hook up. Let's go out to eat dinner tonight. I got you. Now, at the same time, you looking at it and you playing the game. You know what I'm saying? You trying to win. You turn the number up. You talking about almost 600 motherfucking different spirits, different souls. What we talking about?
I don't know. This thing went all the way left.
Well, here's the thing. Well, you know what? I'm not saying that men don't do it. The difference is this. The difference is this. We were made to pollinate and create like bees. You all were meant to hold things like a vessel. So anything that becomes attached to you, that's a part of your, it becomes a part of your DNA. If I skeet tonight, I'll be a part of your punk ass 20 years from now. You can sage all you want. That's just genetics, man. Listen to me. If a motherfucker can take some semen and put it on a goddamn piece of paper and put it in the freezer and find a nigga, hey, this was your motherfucking jizz. You going to jail forever behind this shit, nigga. The same thing's applicable if they scrape your walls. They can find it.
Wow.
I'm stupid. I'm stupid. You know I am, goddamn.
Yeah, it's definitely time.
Senior citizens have to do what they have to do. Because, you know, tomorrow you can't take that nap during the middle of the day, so you got to get as much rest as you can tonight. And I don't want to impede that in no way, shape, or form. You know, I truly appreciate all that y'all have done. As they say, where I go on a regular, I appreciate you all that you do, and we thank you. We truly thank you for all that you do.
This has been truly educational.
Yeah, and all you're getting, get the fuck off.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. It's the Romello Marcellus Show. The fly uncle you always wish you had.
Bring 'em out.
Here to give you every aspect of game from a real player's perspective. It's the biggest boss from business, entertainment, love, and life.
Had to find my inner power.
To fashion, etiquette, and current events. Major show alert! All to enhance the happiness already inside you.
Today is about the power of you.
Check it out.
You're now rocking with the best.
You know I'm rocking with the best.